distinguishes tier 5 and what distinguishes tier 4 is completely arbitrary. So when you're saying, well, I think someone above this tier is competent enough, you're just saying that arbitrarily unless you can provide a concrete explanation as to how.
You interrupted me to say the same thing you just said. How'd that make you feel?
I expanded on further, bro.
Stronger?
Go ahead.
Did that make you feel stronger, DX?
Yes, it did. I explained my point thoroughly, so I don't. So yeah,
second time by interrupting.
I did not say exactly what I said. I gave context to what I said. Now you can go ahead and explain why I said it makes no sense. Instead of attacking my delivery, you can go ahead and attack the argument itself. What the fuck are you doing, Sakazuki?
You literally repeated.
Okay. Let's say I did repeat myself, which I did not. You can go ahead and attack the argument anyway. Now that I finished speaking.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do from now on. Since you want to sit here and be a little bitch about it, I'll just mute you every time I'm speaking. If you do agree that
feel free to mute me every time you're speaking. Go ahead.
Okay, so my claim isn't okay. I'm not saying that these specific tiers are the only tiers or anything like that. I'm saying under my perspective, which is this whole thing's about, I'm saying whether or not I believe he's a good debater or not, right? And I'm asking him for people I believe to be coherent vouchers. So these tiers that I'm assigning myself, like you said, yeah, sure, you may not agree with them, or Arjun might not agree with them, but I'm saying under my belief, these tiers of people are there people in this specific criteria of debating under my that will vouch for his skill level. That is my entire point.
That's just not true. You specifically said Arjun is not a good debater. At least that's what the discussion is about. I don't care to convince you and your own subjective opinion that Arjun's a good debater. I don't care to do that. So hold on. Let me finish speaking because you would mute me if I did this to you. I don't care to convince you. Hold on, bro.
You're not gonna shock me. Okay, so I'm going to mute him because he's in shotgun. He's just going to make multiple points. I don't care to devolve in. It's a very simple conversation. So you're saying, you verbatim said Arjun isn't a good debater, right? Who is that sentence coming from? It is coming from me. So for me to tell you, okay, this is under my belief, yes, it's my opinion, right? Someone else like Arjun can believe that he's a good debater. But the sentence, the opinion came out of my mouth. It is my opinion. So you can see here, I'm not trying to convince you. Then why the fuck are we in this argument if you're not trying to convince me? What are you trying to prove? What are you doing? This just proves your incompetency, VX. You're not good. Yeah, I'm going to mute him.
There's a difference between you personally stating that I don't believe Arjun is a good debater instead of you saying definitively Arjun is not a good debater. You're saying that it's not the case that Arjun is a good debater. That's a general claim. It's universal. Hold on, Sakazuki. That's universal. If you want to say in my own subjective opinion or my own subjective experiences, or even bring something that relates to that, correlates to that, I would accept that. But you said what you implied was something definitive. You gave something universal, Sakazuki.
You're not tracking. Okay, so Arjun, was my claim that I'm disagreeing that I said Arjun is not a good debater? Is my claim that I just told VX and muted him thinking, okay, he might finally listen instead of being ignorant? Did I go ahead and disagree with him? Did I say, oh, no, I didn't say, I do not, what's called that? Arjun is not a good debater? Did I disagree with that? No, I never, you are arbitrary. No, wait, no. This is the problem with that. I never said you are definitively a bad debater. I said, Arjun, you are not a good debater. And I said that a multitude of times. I agree. You guys are interpreting that as me saying definitively you're a bad debater. I wouldn't say that given the fact that I know there are multiple people in this VC, you and VX, who don't believe you're a shit debater. Right? So me just saying this is definitively the case would just be dumb and counterintuitive. I'm saying under my belief, I believe Arjun is not a good debater. And that's what I've always held that stance up for the past couple months. Right? Ever since you started VC debating. I've always said I don't believe you're that good of a debater. And I'm just saying I do not believe you're a good debater. I don't think you're a good debater. Right? So you can say whatever you want and try to add this like interpretation to what I'm saying and try to debate you and me about it. But unless you can just show me proof of me saying, oh, he is definitively the worst debater or he's definitively a bad debater, then I don't care. Because I said verbatim multiple times, I mean, what's it called? He is not a good debater. I said that multiple times. You're just arbitrarily saying it's definitively. Go ahead.
Okay, it's not arbitrary because there's a difference between something specified and something general. When you say I believe Arjun is not a good debater, that's something specified. But when you say Arjun is not a good debater, it's something general. So you have to look at like how we treat claims in general, and then hold on. We treat claims in general as if they are definitive, unless there's like at least some fucking specification as to what you mean by the claim. But now that you fucking backtracked and changed what your claim means, we can just end this discussion as it being that. We can just leave the discussion because it's not gonna go anywhere else, Sakazuki.
You made a claim. You're done. You're just this kid. Like he's so loud, Dreezy, because he's literally just a fucking spaz. Okay, so VX. When someone makes, like, for example, we can use this idea of general claims. Me and Archie were talking about this yesterday with pirates, right? If you make a general claim about pirates, right? Sure. But if Oda then comes out and gives context to his words, right? His words, we then have a different meaning, or we can specify. So when I say I don't believe Arjun's a good, I don't think. No, sorry, my bad. Arjun is not a good debater. Right? And then you come to me and say, oh, no, you're saying definitively the case. But then I clarify my statement saying, no, it's my belief. Right? Now you're arguing with my clarification for the statement because we don't have clarification for it. So you're just being a fucking ignorant retard who has the literally zero coherent, like, I don't even know. You are just an incoherent fuck. That's what you are.
You can even present that properly. Look, Sakazuki, that's why in the last part of my previous explanation to you, I said, then, well, if it's about your subjective opinion, then we can just end the discussion there. The reason why I brought up it being definitive or subjective is because you failed to clarify to do so until I brought it up. So the fuck are we doing? We can just end the conversation about this now. Okay, let's end it now. Let's stop talking about it.
Okay. This is what I'm saying. You just spaz out like a retard, and you have the incapability of doing anything. So when I state from my mouth, right, that someone is a bad debater, right, and we literally have himself who thinks he's a good debater, and then you who thinks he's a good debater in the VC, I would think that someone would have the literal thinking capability to come to the conclusion that I'm not saying this is a definitive, universally accepted thing, that I'm just stating to be the case. No, I'm saying under my opinion, this is the case, right? Under my opinion. But I don't need to clarify that to you because I would believe that you would have the thinking capability to come to that conclusion yourself. So until you asked me for clarification, I decided not to give clarification. So you can sit here and bitch all you want, but it means nothing. You're just so fucking dumb. You're just further proving your incompetency. That's it.
And I say I believe murder is bad. I can still be making the definitive case that murder is bad. Like even though they hold on. Even though they believe that murder is good, that does not affect the context in which I'm making the claim until I clarify and tell these
Okay, so once again, no, he just made another claim.
Nah,
right?
bro, I'm not gonna lie. Why you guys yapping, bro?
Like, he's just repeating himself, Arjun, and you yourself is hearing it, right? All he's saying is, it doesn't matter if he's making multiple claims. I don't need to let him continue. So he presented the analogy. I understand the analogy. He's saying you can say murder is not good, right? And then someone else can believe murder is good, but murder is not. But saying murder is not good can still be a definitive thing that you're claiming. My point is, Arjun, that those were my words, right? That I stated, and I believed you guys would interpret it correctly. When I was made clear to me that VX did not interpret it correctly, I immediately clarified it. So my point is, he's arguing against the meaning of my words. the way in which I intended my words. It's a pointless argument where he's just being ignorant. When he asked for clarification, it was given. That's how a conversation should progress. I'm not going to sit here and think I'm talking to a bunch of preschoolers who are incapable of fucking understanding my words, where I have to clarify every sentence I make. So when he did ask for clarification, I went ahead and gave it. I'm not just going to like precog his clarification that he needs. Oh shit, where's this fucking dude at? Go.
Okay, which is why after you clarified, I said we can end the discussion. But the issue I'm having now is that you believe the natural entailment of the words that you said prior is that you believe is that it's a part of your
You don't
experience.
even understand my stance.
No,
That's
I
what
understand
I'm
your
saying.
stance.
You are so busy.
The stance is that you failed to clarify what you meant until I asked you to clarify it, and then now we can stop discussing this.
Busy chatting. You are so busy chatting that you literally don't hear what I'm saying to you. You're like that's like you just unmute, and it's like what? No, you unmute, and it's like whatever the fuck I just said went in one ear and out the other, and then whatever the fuck you wanted to say prior just comes back out because you just go in every conversation that I have with you just goes in circles and circles.
You're ignorant.
And circles. You have no ability to further a conversation. You can't track an argument.
For sure. All right. So I'm telling you is, I'll repeat myself because maybe you misheard me. Maybe like you like to antagonize me in this way, but I'll like repeat myself one more time so you can understand. So once you clarified, okay, I was like, okay, that's cool. You can end the argument. But then you said, like, you begin to imply that I'm stupid or whatever, or like a preschooler or whatever, for not being able to interpret your words the same way that you do. But I'm telling you right now, the natural entailment of what you're saying isn't even your interpretation of your own words. So nobody would have been able to understand that, or at least most people would not been able to understand that, because until you clarified it.
Are you fucking retarded?
Am I fucking retarded? How?
Arjun, did you just hear that sentence that came out of his mouth?
Nice. Am I fucking retarded?
Wait, yes, don't interrupt. I just want to have a conversation with Arjun. Did you hear what he just said? He said I didn't know the meaning of those words that came out of my mouth. He's actually
I never said that. I said you interpreted your words wrongly. Like, hello?
You literally just said, you literally verbatim said that nobody knew what you meant, and you didn't even know what you meant. That's what you said verbatim.
Did I say that? Did I say that? I didn't say that bullshit, bro.
Yes, you did.
And then he supplemented it, and then we can end a discussion. I think what Sakazuki thinks I'm doing, or I think I said, he thinks I said you did not understand what you said. I never said that. I said we did not understand the interpretation of the words that your interpretation of your own words, because the natural entailment of the words that you said correlates with our interpretation.
No,
that's what I'm trying to tell you right now.
Okay, so this is the thing, right? Is you strawman my position while it was your position. Your position, yes, is you're saying this is likely the natural entailment of these words, which I'm saying, given the context of the conversation, I don't believe it was. And I'm not saying that mine was.
That's what we're discussing. That's what's being put in the question. So
what's getting put into question is your fucking thing. You are on the affirmative. You were saying that yes, this is the natural entailment, and I'm saying no, that doesn't have to be the case. And reason why, shut the fuck up. The reason as to why it's not necessarily the case is because when we look at the context of the conversation, which is this guy Arjun a good debater or not? Right? And I say he's not a good debater. But there's two people in VC who do believe he's a good debater. So when we're not even debating, we're just having a conversation. Why would I make the definitive claim that he is not a good debater when there are two people in VC who literally think he is?
No, okay, look, Sakazuki, that's why I gave you the murder analogy, and which you just failed to address. You said, oh, your opinion. You failed to
but
address the
you
murder
can
line,
make
so
the same
I'll let you address it now. Go ahead.
You can go ahead and say your little murder analogy. It's not going to do anything.
I'll repeat it for you, Sakazuki, even though you said I was repeating myself and you don't like to hear my words. Anyways, I said if I'm in a room full of psychotic murderers and they believe that murder is good, and I set forth the stance that murder is bad, right? That does not affect the subjectivity or definitivity of my stand, like of my proposition. Okay,
Oh
like it
my
doesn't
God.
like their personal opinion does not affect whether or not my claim is definitive or subjective.
Since you're
Like,
using
hello?
making analogies, I'll give you a better analogy, right? Let's say we're in court.
I'll give you better energy. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
No, like, you can chat all you want. Let's say we're in
You guys
court.
are just
There's somebody.
repeating.
Let's
Guys
say
are
we're in
just
court.
repeating.
What'd you say, Jeezy?
No.
Okay. Either way, let's say we're in court. I'm the lawyer that's like prosecuting someone who's getting put on trial for murder, right? This idea of whether he's a murderer or not hasn't been deemed fact or truth. And he would be like, this guy is a murderer, right? And this is, let's say they don't have evidence yet. He's just making his opening statements in court. And he's saying that, he is saying that under the, first of all,
Right.
may not even be his opinion, but essentially either the state's opinion, if the state's the one prosecuting this person for the crime, and he's just saying under the state's opinion, this guy is a murderer, right? Because there's no evidence presented yet. He's just giving a broad generalization for what they're about to talk about. Now, let me correlate that back to what we're talking about, right? What the idea of whether Arjun is a good debater or not was, first of all, still in question because we're just talking about it, right? I was just saying, because once again, there's even further contextualization as to why this wasn't me saying definitively he's a bad debater. First of all, like I said, it's not a deemed fact yet, right? There's no evidence for either side. I was just asking, and first of all, there's you and Arjun who think you're good debaters. On top of that, I then appeal, like you said, to my own tier list, right? My tier list, and I'm like, okay, is there anyone above this certain tier? Once again, all operating under my opinion given to my tier list. Is there anyone from this tier and up that will vouch for him? So once again, all operating under my opinion, which gives even more likelihood that this is just my opinion, like I'm saying. And then you're just sitting here chatting, telling me, oh, the natural entailment of your words is this. No. When you use contextual clues, you can understand what the entailment of my words were. You're just an idiot.
No, Sakazuki. Because to expand upon my murder analogy, the fucking retarded psychotic murderers, the Jewish ones, ask me why I believe murder is wrong, and I set forth like these fucking, I guess, man-made laws, right, which I believe to be definitive. Well, there's no difference in you saying forth your tier list. I don't know whether or not you believe your tier list is definitive or not. So Sakazuki, until you clarify, I have no way of knowing whether your intent is. I don't know. You're speaking with me now. I don't know if your opinion is subjective or definitive because you set for the tier list, but I don't even know if that tier list is subjective or definitive. So can you go ahead, like, repeat that?
Okay, so now I'm just gonna ask Arjun because now you blatantly lied, and I'm expecting you to be truthful, right? Didn't this whole thing derive from him saying the tiers within my tier list are arbitrary and just based off of my like presupposed level of debaters? Correct, Arjun?
No.
Yeah, you don't say no.
Say yes, because I didn't say that. Say yes, I said that. Yeah, I said that, yes, yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you already acknowledged that tier list and the evidence I was appealing to was just simply my opinion. Because once again, this was all operating, like I'm saying, because I'm clarifying my own words still, this was still all operating under the fact that this is my opinion that he's not a good debater. And this is backed up by two things. One,
okay,
there's
hold on.
people in BC who disagree that why would I claim this thing to be definitively the case if we're just having a normal, not debating this, just a normal conversation where two people literally disagree. I wouldn't say this is objectively the case or definitively the case. It's retarded. Two,
okay.
I literally back this up and try to get vouchers from people I believe to be good. Once again, my opinion. You can sit here and chat all you want, right? Saying, I think it is tier, like you use this like Jewish analogy, whatever the fuck you just brought up, and you were like, they think this is definitively the case, right? You think that the evidence they provide for why the Jewish people are murderers or whatever is definitively
What?
the case, which is the problem. Which is a problem with your analogy, because the evidence you provided, I don't believe is definitively the case. I don't think anyone's tier list is definitively the case. I think it's like you said, people gouging their opinions upon debaters and placing them in certain places on the tier list.
Okay, Sakazuki, hold on. Like what you said, this means nothing. I'm so sorry because I'm saying right. Like okay, cool. You can now think that tier lists don't have to like be definitively the case. I'm telling you that I have no way of knowing whether or not you meant like you believe that your tier list is definitively the case. Now that that's addressed, we can go on to why something being arbitrary, why something having arbitrary justification doesn't necessitate that thing being subjective. Now, Sakazuki, can you answer that question? Why does something having arbitrary justification mean that thing is now subjective within of itself?
Nope, you're getting muted. You made a claim that this doesn't matter because what's it called? Because you don't know there's definitive now. Like we literally just talked about in VC, you did interpret it like that. You are the one who presented that. You are the one who, after I said, are there anyone above this tier, right? On my tier list, tier 3, that would vouch for Arjun. You're the one who mic'd up, and you're the one who was like, oh, that's arbitrary. That's not always the case. That's your tier list. You can place them wherever they want. That's your level. That's your gouge. That was you. So you did interpret it like that. So this whole idea that you're presenting that, I wouldn't know if it was definitive or not. No, you interpreted that one correctly. So don't try to sit here and lie. You did interpret that as my opinion. So don't sit here and try to change this whole thing just for the sake of your shitty little argument because you fucking suck.
You dirty little nigger. You just ran away from what I told you. I can't believe it. I asked you why something having arbitrary justification means that thing cannot be definitively the case. And then you ran away. And then you just said, then you just ignore the question, which just addresses what you said. So can you answer the fucking question, Sakazuki, Sakapuki, I don't know, nigga, Sakapuki, I'm on your butt cheeks. Anyways, nigga, like, please address it, please.
Okay. So once again, my point went way over your head. The whole thing of this conversation.
Oh, shut the fuck up, man! Ask the question. Oh my god.
Okay, so if you're that's why I mute you every time I speak, because you're spaz. Like it's so like I leave him unmuted one time. He asked me to answer a question. I open my mouth and he's already going. Okay. So VX. This whole conversation is derived from you and Arjun's interpretation of what I said, right? Whether or not it was definitive or something that was opinion, right? Or whether it was just something that doesn't like just have to be the case, right? And I am telling you, you got the correct interpretation of my words when we were talking about the tier list. You yourself brought up the fact that it's arbitrary and it just doesn't necessarily have to be the case. And right after you said that, Arjun can vouch, I agreed with you that it was under my tier list and that not everybody has to agree with it and that it's literally simply the people I believe to be competent, which I want to fuel who I think is good or not. And we literally had that conversation. Arjun, can you attest to that? Okay, no, oh, nice. Okay, like you can just tell the truth. Like VX isn't gonna jump you. He's just like he's a little bit. And then Arjun, right after he brought that up, isn't what triggered this whole conversation is me then saying, yes, this is under my belief. Obviously, it's just my tier list fueling who I think is good at debating or not good at debating. Is that not what happened? And then he tried to tell me, huh? No, I'm not recording. I'm on my fucking phone. I just fucking woke up like 45 minutes ago. You do remember that VX did say that my list is arbitrary and that it's just basically based off of my opinion, right? I don't care, Arjun. You just agreed that he did say that. You did agree to that. Okay, so this is my point, Arjun, is that where would this conversation, how would we have gotten here if the next thing I said was not that this was under my own belief? Because the whole thing he's arguing is, the natural entailment of your words is that this is not, this is definitive, right? So you arguing against me saying my word was not meant to be taken as definitive. What happened in this conversation verbatim was, well, not verbatim because I don't remember exact words, but almost verbatim, was he said my list is arbitrary. I said I agree. But this is my opinion of who's a good debater, and I would want a good debater to vouch for this person either being good or not good. And once again, this is all fueled by my opinion, my belief. It's not based off of your belief. It's not based off of VX's belief. And it's not a belief I'm going to sit here and tell VX, you must abide by this belief. No, he can think you're good. That's fine. He has a different set of who he thinks is a good debater or who he thinks isn't a good debater. That's fine. So I don't get what he's trying to argue. He's just chatting. Sure, go ahead. If I promise if you just restate the whole
No, I'll restate like 10 words, okay? Because I don't think you heard me and I don't think you addressed it, so Sakazuki, please. Okay, so I was telling you when we talk about the tier list, I was saying that, well, hold on, these tiers are arbitrary. What defines tier 3 and what defines tier 4 is arbitrary. That's perfectly fine. So later on, like, I would agree like this could possibly be a contradiction, and I would be in shambles right now, and I would like, I don't know, I'll fucking rage or whatever. But like, no, I wouldn't. But the thing is, I'm asking you now why something being justified arbitrarily now makes that thing arbitrary within of itself, or
That's
subjective
not what I
within of
argued.
itself. Oh, Sakazuki, that's what you're implying. Because hold on, please.
Oh my
Sakazuki,
god.
please, man, let me speak because I was mute the whole time, man.
He's not talking again. No,
You had a lot to say. You had a
No, you're done. You made a claim. Let me clown you real quick. Okay. So, Arjun, did I once make the deductive argument that, if the evidence I use is opinion-based or arbitrary, then now the initial claim must be fucking arbitrary and opinion. Did I say that, Arjun? Okay, so since your friend wants to protect you, I'll tell you this right now. That was never. When did I? That's not what I implied. I verbatim gave my argument. I said, no, what? No, that's not what I argued. I verbatim said, the entailment of my words is likely the case to be my opinion given two things. One, there were two people there that disagree with that. So for me to then claim, this is now definitively the case, is just counterintuitive. It's not something I would do. So as one reason, as why I'm saying is likely, that it's simply me giving my opinion under my belief. And then the second thing I gave is what you're referring to. I'm saying that I went ahead and justified my belief with another thing that is based off of my belief. I'm not saying that this is definitively the case or anything like that based off those two reasons. I said this is likely going under my interpretation. I never said it was 100% deductively to be my opinion. Never once said that. Go ahead, VX.
Sakazuki, are we still friends after this?
I don't really care. Go ahead. Keep talking.
You don't care about the discussion, or like you don't care about our friendship?
Keep talking.
Huh?
Keep talking.
Okay. I'm funny. Anyways, so with the thing, so you said because something is arbitrarily justified, it's more likely that this thing is arbitrary. Yes or no? Or he implied that, right?
I said it with one other thing. Those in conjunction are a likelihood increaser. Yes.
Okay. So the issue with that is that you didn't really demonstrate this, and I'll demonstrate a counter example by giving a counter example. Okay, so Arjun, do you believe in God? Remember yesterday, like you were arguing for God, you believe in God, right? Okay, and you said the reason why you believe in God is your personal experiences. Your personal experiences are subjective and can be interpreted differently. It's something arbitrary, okay? So you believe that God definitively exists because of some arbitrary experience. Okay, so that's one counter example of something being arbitrarily justified, but it being definitively or it being believed to be definitively the case. So Sakazuki, I just gave you a counter example to your interpretation, which you believe is a likelihood increaser.
Okay.
So can you go ahead and give an example of
Guys, are you
likelihood
done?
increaser?
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm finished, Sakazuki. I'm glad that we can have a
Okay.
cool discussion. Go ahead.
So, right? First off, if Arjun within that argument were to be like, God definitely exists, right? And then he were to give evidence that is just arbitrary, it just wouldn't fucking work, right? Because it's just arbitrary fucking evidence for something that he's claiming to be universally and definitively the case. What I am saying is the whole reason I said it's counterintuitive and it would be dumb for me to do that, right? Because once again, this is not about necessarily, just logically speaking, this is just 100% the case or likely the case. No, I'm trying to explain to you conversation skills, right? When you sit here and say the natural entailment of this thing, right? You just saying it can be both of these things, VX, doesn't prove that the natural entailment is that. I don't even see what you're like trying to prove.
Okay, I mean, I do have a response, but if you don't see what I'm trying to prove, then I don't think this conversation matters.
I explain. Oh my God, you literally are. I will explain your argument verbatim. You are saying that the natural entailment of my words that Arjun is not a good debater would be definitive, and then your proof for that is okay. It's possible to say a definitive claim and then back it up with arbitrary evidence, right? And I'm also saying it is
No.
possible to make an opinion-based claim and back it up with arbitrary evidence. So what about that proves that the natural entailment is likely your interpretation? Go ahead.
Okay, Sakazuki, this is like you like respectfully, like I love you, bro. But like you say I don't track, but this is you not tracking the conversation.
If you we're gonna do this.
Sakazuki, now, please.
If you repeat what I just said in any way, shape, or form when you're repeating your
I'm banning you.
Go ahead.
You're banning me, right?
Yeah, I will ban you if you because you just
I have to be careful now. No, I have to really be careful. I know.
No.
It's me because I'm annoying and wasting time. Okay, apparently I'm wasting time anyway. But I don't care. Okay, Sakazuki, I heard what you said. I'll go under the condition.
I know for a fact that is his argument because he clarified his argument 36 times. So if you can go ahead and explain your argument, VX. But if it is what I just
said, I'm not explaining the argument. I'll explain why I brought the argument up.
No, you're gonna explain your argument right now. You said
because that's not my intention, Sakazuki. You said. Hold on. Let me speak. You're speaking. We're two men. We're two men on Discord, bro. Come on.
Okay, you're muted. You're gonna listen to me. You said verbatim just now. Don't try to lie to me. You said Sakazuki. I don't mean this in a mean way, but you can't track my arguments, right? So I just explained your argument to you. You're going to now repeat your argument. And if it's something that is just what I said or similar to what I said, I am banning you. Because you're going to sit here and try to get your little rhetoric points when there's two other people in VC who say, you can't track. When I'm tracking your argument perfectly fine, you're just a fucking retard who can't make a coherent argument. So go ahead, and I'm going to unmute you. I don't care what you're going to say. I'm Sakazuki. I don't want to do that. No, you're going to repeat your argument and prove why I can't track. Go ahead.
Okay.
Is this a debate?
Nah, we're just two men on Discord, like calmly talking, of course. Anywho,
damn, calm conversation.
So prior to this, the whole way that this tracking discussion even started is because I said Sakazuki, I don't think you're tracking the argument, which is what we're both having, the argument, like the discussion, debate, whatever the
But
fuck
you
it is,
just,
okay?
okay, this is not
So
what I told you to say.
hold on.
I'm gonna mute you
The
again.
reason why I said that
Say your
is
argument,
because you
dumbass.
did not, hold on, because you did not understand why I brought up the subjective, definitive, and God's existence argument. The reason why I brought that up is because you said, well, me believing my tier list, my tier list having arbitrary justification is a likelihood increaser for it being arbitrary, and I brought the God's existence thing as a counter to that. But you think hold on, Sakazuki, hold on. You think that I brought it up as a likelihood increaser for your.
Yeah, you're done. Okay. And before you say, oh, I cut you off, you're simply going to say, oh, you said this is likely given these two things. I proved that one of these things can co-align with my interpretation. Cool. Great. I said it for you with better rhetoric too. So nice job, VX. Literally, if you agree that it's possible for this thing to co-align with both interpretations, if you agree that the first thing, right, after I brought the courtroom example, you drop that, so that's in my favor, how in the fuck are you coming to the conclusion that your initial claim, which, Arjun, I swear to God if you lie, because I know you remember this, because we went over this, I asked you about this earlier. His initial claim, yes or no, is that the natural entailment of my words is that it's definitive. Correct, Arjun? Okay, so that is your claim. My claim that I was trying to prove that I've already clarified multiple times was that I don't believe that's necessarily the case. So, if you're agreeing that these pieces of evidence or contextual clues that I'm providing can lead to not only your claim, but other claims, then your argument is defeated, VX. So, guess who wasn't tracking? You! You lost track of your own fucking claim! You're a retard! It's crazy! So I'm going to let you go ahead and talk. If you start chatting, this conversation is over. And it's just embarrassing for you because of how shit you are.
Sakazuki, we're friends, right? Before I continue.
Just continue.
I'm enjoying this discussion, and you don't know, like.
I don't really care to answer your other questions, so continue. Just make yourself
All right, little man. Okay. Fucking what? Give me a minute to think because I wasn't tracking what you did say like right now. Okay, so it might sound a little bit repetitive, but it's not actually repetitive. So okay, Sakazuki, I'm not using it as a likelihood increaser. Okay, I'm not using it as evidence for my point. Okay, I know. Chill. Look, let me go ahead. So you asked me, well, how am I going to prove that my thing is more likely to be the case? And I did do that at the start of the discussion by saying that, well, there's a difference between a general claim and a specific claim. And then after, the general claim and a specific claim. So what's going on here?
Oh my God, you're not true. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna mute you again.
Just wrap it up, bro. Like I don't care to discuss this anymore anyway.
You don't need to care, you're just wrong. So, after you made the claim that, oh, this doesn't necessarily have to be the case, oh, whatever the fuck, right? What you just said, that claims general, whatever the fuck. I then made the claim that, cool, these statements, right, with zero context, if I were to just say, oh, this, and that, no, I just stopped speaking. There was no other context to the conversation. There was nothing else said by anyone else. There's nothing said by me. Then sure. But no, there was contextual clues. And what I'm doing is pointing out that within those contextual clues, and by your own admission, these contextual clues can lead to your conclusion and the conclusion that this was under my opinion. So it is not the case that your claim that, oh, this is the natural entailment of this word within this conversation is we're just like in your chatting, right? It's literally you just saying the natural entailment is just you're saying it's a general thing, it's a definitive thing. You're just chatting, right? It's not a thing. You have provided no likelihood increasers. You haven't even proved why it's deductively valid. I've provided multiple contextual clues that this could lead to both of our conclusions. And on top of that, you had no argument or refutation to the fact that, yeah, these statements do get shaped by the context. So you lost. There's nothing else to it. You lost. You lost terribly. So yeah, like you said, we can end this conversation because you're just chatting. Nice.
Nice concession. I already contended the contextualized, apparently the context clues. But I don't want to continue this any further because I think that I think that this went my way. Can we just stop talking to each other for like?
Well, since we want to lie, we'll ask Arjun. Arjun, did he ever give? And if you're gonna say yes, before you try to lie, I'm gonna make you like say it verbatim what he did say. So. How or when did he argue that the contextual clues for a statement don't help form the statement's meaning, Arjun? No. So there's two analogies that VX presented. One was about the murderers. That was to refute that there's other people in the VC that disagree with me, right? And then the second one was about God's existence, which was about whether or not arbitrary evidence would now lead to the claim being arbitrary, right? So those were his two analogies. I'm asking you, what argument did VX provide that refuted the fact that contextual evidence helps shape and form a statement's meaning? He didn't. Okay, nice. Okay, so you tried to make one up for him. It's just not going to happen because he didn't say anything. So
Yeah.
you can go ahead and try to lie. You got fucking slammed. Terribly. Badly. You suck. So now we can move on.
Yeah.
Yo, Sakazuki, man. Like, I love you from the. Nah, I don't actually love you from the bottom of my heart. But like, you're like my top. You're like my top 17,000 on Discord. Yeah. So like, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna just delete the recording for your favor. Like, nah, I'm joking. I wasn't recording anyway. But the thing is that what you said to Arjun is completely different from what I was telling you. Why your context clues don't even matter anyway. Like,
that's not. Oh my god, he lied again. So we'll go back to Arjun.
Oh my god, no!
We can go back to Arjun. Arjun, did this whole thing not derive from him saying, "Oh, thanks for your concession. You actually, I already refuted the contextual evidence, right? The fact contextual evidence forms the meaning of statements. I already refuted that. So thanks for the concession." Is that not what this all derived from? What the fuck are you? No, I'm saying just now. Prior to me asking you about whether he gave a refutation to the contextual evidence, right? The thing that led to me asking you that question was him going, "Oh, Sakazuki, thank you for the concession. I already refuted the idea that contextual evidence can form the statements." Okay, so VX, yeah, okay, so you can just, I'm gonna unmute you, right? And then you can go ahead and try to lie. And I'm gonna ask you to say wallahi. That's not what you said.
Good. Okay, I'll say wallahi. Okay, that's perfectly fine. I'm not gonna overuse the word.
Sure, okay,
I'll say it after when you ask me the question.
Say wallahi.
No, because I have something to say right now. I'm gonna forget, and then you're gonna make me not say it. So I'm gonna say that thing first. Okay, Sakazuki. Okay, so that's what you said. I said was not exactly what I said. I said I debunked that the context clues. No, I implied that the context clues. I implied that I debunked that the context clues were in your favor, which you conceded to anyway. So what the fuck are we doing here? What the fuck are we doing here, Sakazuki? Come on, call it a day. Wrap up.
Okay, he's done. He's okay. After you get unmuted here, you're done, VS. You just okay. So Arjun, I know you remember this because I was speaking to you directly. So Arjun, did I not just tell him that his position is that this is the natural entailment, right? That it is definitive. My position is just that it's not necessarily that, correct? Arjun. Oh my God! Why are you lying to protect? Okay, I'll just ask Robbie. Since Robbie was here, I'm not.
Look, I
I'm not
wasn't
asking
here
for
from the
Robbie.
start, I think. Yeah.
No, Robbie, I'm not talking about from the start. Robbie, I'm talking
Hmm.
about. Shut up, Robbie. I'm not talking. Oh, you're just trying to lie to protect him. Robbie.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm not talking about from like the beginning. I'm talking about just now. You were here for this part of the conversation.
Hmm.
Did I not just clarify to him that his position is that he's trying to prove that the natural entailment of that statement is this, like, is definitive, like, just is the case? And then I said that my position is just simply that that does not necessarily have to be the case.
Yeah, I think you said something like that.
Yes, okay, and I said that multiple times, VX. And my whole point is you saying that the contextual clues go into your favor does not defeat what I said, because the contextual clues, like I entailed and displayed throughout the conversation, can co-align with your interpretation and another interpretation. So if that's the case, that does not prove that your claim that this is 100% the natural entailment, it's defeated. It's not the case. You don't have a refutation to that. Okay, sure, you're unmuted. It doesn't change it.
Sakazuki,
I was an idiot.
I don't care to insult you. I don't care to mock you or laugh at you. But this is so fucking stupid. Because one, like, I do think like your position, don't come in by the way. Your position did change, or at least, like, yeah, it did change at least somewhat. Because at the start, you were calling me fucking stupid and a fucking preschooler for believing that for the believing that what your words say like imply
No,
what
that's
I
okay.
think they say. But the issue with that is that now you're saying, well, it could imply what you say, and it could.
Okay. Yeah. So you're just gonna lie. That's not what the reason I was calling you a preschooler and retarded was because you were saying that you automatically operate under the assumption that it is definitive, like that what I'm saying is definitive. And I need to go ahead and clarify that without you asking for clarification. That is why I called you retarded. So don't, and that you're a preschooler. So don't sit here and try to lie now, because that's not what we're gonna do. Well, I called you retarded, called you stupid, and I called you a preschooler because, not because of your reason, but because you were sitting here telling me that I need to clarify my words without you even asking for clarification. You're an idiot.
Sakazuki, what still stands is the fact that if you did clarify, this would have never happened because you believe that either interpretation of your words is valid. That's the end, okay? Like you had to clarify anyway. You would have had to clarify because you believe both interpretations are valid. You have no right to complain about fucking gas Muni, by the way. This is so AIDS. I'm mad at the VC if you keep discussing this.
Okay, if anyone in this VC can go ahead and just tell me that when I've muted him, he has not either already made a claim or he was spazzing out. Can anyone vouch that that's just not been the case?
Yeah, go ahead and march.
Arjun,
Go ahead and march as well.
Arjun, have I muted him when either two things, right? One, he was spazzing out, or two, he made another claim after making a claim previously. Correct, Arjun? Okay,
Like, yeah, even I agree.
Can you name the instances? Can you name the instances in which I muted him when he literally was doing nothing, like when he wasn't doing one of the two things I said, which was spazzing out.
Name one time you ate breakfast last year. Name one time you ate breakfast last year. It's the same shit, man. Your jokes were like, I look, Sakazuki, man. Like, this is not gonna go anywhere if we start doing this shit. So, under my kindful,
you know, Arjun
and
won't be
graceful, nice, you cut me off. You would mute me for cutting you off, by the way. But nice. Look, under my kindful, nice, man. Like, I would be mute by now. I'll be spamming in chat right now. Unmute me. Like, please, come on.
No,
right now,
because this is what I'm
under
saying.
my kindness and my grace, I'm gonna end the discussion.
Because you made a claim, and then you made another claim that, oh, you have no right to claim complain about Gias. I go to try to address that, and then you start speaking again. Right? And this is why I mute you. Arjun, do you understand why I muted him there? okay, Arjun, right? If he makes not only one, but two claims on me, I let him continue speaking. Then I decide, oh, let me address the things he say, right? But then he just starts talking again. Why would I not mute him? Why would I just let him to continue to speak and make even more claims? Huh? That's not abuse. There's a difference between using your power to progress a conversation, and there's a difference between abusing that power. Well, I'm not giving you perms. I'll give Rami perms. All right, Rami, you have mute and deafen perms, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I already have.
All right, cool. Okay, so after I make like my refutation to what he said, you can then unmute him, and if I interrupt, you can mute me, etc. Right?
Yeah, but
So essentially, his argument is that my position changed throughout this thing. No, it didn't change. My position was never that the entailment of my words was likely this or even 100% this. Because, like I agreed, statements, and I'm not a stupid person, statements or even words within different contexts can have different meanings. Right? And I don't think it was 100% fully clarified until he asked me for clarification. The point in which I called him retarded and stupid and a preschooler was when he was telling me that I need to clarify my words prior to someone asking me for clarification. So the way I'm going to address that, and then I'm going to let you speak, VX, is when I speak my words, or Robbie speaks his words, or Arjun speaks his words, in your head, you understand what you're trying to prove. Most of the time. You understand what you're trying to put forth. So under that context, I believed that what I put forth, everyone else would understand like I did. But at the same time, it's just not the case because y'all aren't in my head. So then, once you gave clarification, asked for clarification, I gave you clarification. But then you decided to be a smartass and try to argue for the general entailment of the statement, in which you literally have not proved why, first of all, it is deductively the case, which was your claim, and then you also haven't proven why it's likely the case, which wasn't your claim. But even if I was being generous, you didn't prove that either. You can go ahead and unmute him, Robbie.
but yep, I'm muted.
Okay, so I'm Eisen, so I'm gonna guess what's gonna happen, and then I'm gonna say then I'm gonna say the thing, and then it's actually gonna happen. Okay, I'm gonna say I believe I did. He's gonna be like, then I'm gonna keep speaking, and he's gonna tell me of like, oh, how do you do that? How do you do that? Okay, so that's not gonna happen hopefully. Anyways, I believe I did justify that, but it's whatever anyway. Plus, you can clarify your words before people ask you for clarification simply by presenting your words in a more clear manner. You can just do that. Like, come on. But Sakazuki, this holds like not like no relevance, no meaning, no nothing. We can just like forget about leaving the past. Okay, thank you very much.
No, we're not gonna do that. So
This guy is evil, man.
See, you notice how he just instantly interrupts me when I'm about to refute what he says? Okay.
My bad.
So you essentially just argued that, I already proved why I was likely the case. You just don't remember, whatever the fuck. So let me recap our conversation for you since you're just that slow. So what we did do was we established contextual evidence will shape the meaning of statements. And then we went over the contextual evidence. The first one being that there's two people in VC that disagree. You gave an interpretation with your analogy that it would co-align with your interpretation. I gave an interpretation of that analogy that would co-align with my interpretation. Then we went to another piece of contextual evidence, right? In which you were like, okay, with God's existence, blah, 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 right? Proving that arbitrary evidence can co-align with a definitive claim. And then I gave an example of arbitrary evidence co-aligning with a non-definitive claim. So, if within the pieces of contextual evidence that we both already talked about, these contextual pieces can co-align with two different interpretations, not just your interpretation, you never prove why your interpretation would be likely. And then just to back that up, we can just ask two people who just joined VC with no context, just a easy question. Opal, I'll ask you first. Yo, Opal, are you here? Can you talk? All right, you can just nod your head yes or no. So Oppo, if his position is that this that the natural entailment of this sentence is like a specific meaning, like 100% definitively the case, right? And my position is simply that that doesn't necessarily have to be the natural entailment of that statement, right? Within the context we were talking about. And he basically we established that these statements, their meaning is formed by contextual evidence, and then within that contextual evidence, I proved that it co-aligns with his interpretation, but also other interpretations. Would his claim or his initial claim that it's 100% 100% the case, would that be fulfilled or no?
No.
Okay. And then I'll ask you the same question, Piano. Would his initial claim be fulfilled?
No.
Okay. So VX, you can sit here and say you made it more likely because you proved you these contextual pieces co-align with your interpretation. If they co-align with another interpretation as well, that is not a likelihood increaser for you. It just proves that both of these things can be the case. And my position is just that your position doesn't necessarily have to be the case. So therefore, you lost. We can move on.
Two things. We can move on after this. I say these two things. First, at the start, what do you call it? You're the one that we never like established the context. I won't even be disingenuous and rap. That's fine. That's cool. Two, like let's say I did lose or whatever. This still it doesn't help your initial position, which was that I don't have to present my words in a clear manner because you should be able to understand me. That's stuff that's what you were saying. And then now you just established that it wasn't it was like I don't necessarily have to understand what you're saying. So nice. We're I don't know what you're doing here.
That also wasn't my position. So
okay, clarify position.
Oh my god. The initial position was that when this is what I just explained. When I present my words, Oppo presents his words, Piano presents his words, Rombi presents his words. We present those words under the meaning within our head, right? So when we just present that, we usually think that, okay, they're going to understand. But then we realize they don't understand when they go, oh, can you clarify that? Or can you explain that? Or they just say that they just give a meaning to what you said that wasn't the case, and then you clarify it, right? But unless there's some indication that what I said wasn't coming across clearly, then there's no reason for me to just automatically re-clarify every sentence I say. That's just counterintuitive.
No, okay. Do you know what present clearly means? I'm not asking you to. I never said that you should re-clarify. I'm saying that you should present it in a way in which people can understand what you have in your head. That's the whole point of communication, anyway. When we talk, we're just trying to present the ideas that we have in our head. And I'm saying that you did not do that to an adequate extent.
We'll just take a literal, just simple vote. If you want to say that, it's a lack of conversation skills. So, Oppo, are you here?
I never said that, bro.
All right. So, Oppo, if we were having a conversation about who is a good debater and who is not a good debater, right?
We left the VC.
Okay, we'll ask Piano then. Piano, are you here? What'd you say? Okay,
what?
Nice.
What?
Okay, so Piano, if we were to be having a conversation about this person is not a good debater or this person is a good debater, right? And we were just talking, right, in a general conversation, and I just said, this guy is not a good debater, right? I just say that this guy's not a good debater, right? Do you agree that that within that specific context, we're just talking about who's a good debater, who's not, which is inherently a pretty subjective thing most of the time. Yeah, it really is.
I don't believe that.
If about what we're arguing over right now, I do agree with you. But I agree with both of you, but I don't know how he expects you to know when you're explaining it in a way that he
exactly.
Well, no, Yanni. Yanni, what I'm saying is, I agree with you, but you're saying that he has to explain it in a way for you to for other people to understand. But how does he know that you're not understanding the way he's explaining it until after you say it?
No, because hold on. Look, it's the difference between him saying, I believe this nigga shit or this nigga is shit. That's it's two words.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the difference. Especially when he's using it as an insult. How am I meant to know that you're using your own personal opinion as an insult? What the fuck are we doing?
Then just say that.
That wasn't okay. That's not what. Okay, you're just blatantly lying. I wasn't using
Okay,
this
but
as
you're using it as an insult prior anyway. You
That
you did
wasn't-
insult Arjun and saying you was shit anyway, so like it doesn't matter.
If it's a
okay,
communication,
which is not what was okay. VX, and this is why
you
I
understood
do
it,
mute
but
you
you
whenever you talk
misunderstood
because you just sit there and lie, right?
I'm
VX,
not lying, man.
you are because first of all, the thing that was just me just saying Arjun, you're shit, you're shit, you're shit, you're shit, right? I say that all the time to people. That's not me just making claim. That's just me just throwing an insult. It doesn't matter. But what the claim in question was when I was just like, Arjun is not a good debater, and then I was like, is there anyone who would even vouch he's a good debater? Right? That is what we're talking about here. And what I'm saying, and what Piano, from what I interpreted what he's saying, is the way I explain it, or the way usually people will first say something, is they believe people will understand it. Now, if you didn't understand what I said, then you just ask for clarification and the conversation would progress. But instead, you asked for clarification, right? I gave you clarification. Then you decided to debate, Goon, the natural entailment of the statement I said. That is not
Okay.
my fault. That is your fault.
No, because I operated under what I believe to be the natural entailment of what you said, which until it took you like 20, maybe 10 minutes to clarify. Like I went under that interpretation. So the truth is, the reason why we're even talking about this now is because you failed to like clarify. Like that.
Now you just lied. Now Arjun will probably lie to protect your ass. But we already
no. Oh, hold on. Let me ask Arjun a question now. Arjun, did we or did we not like operate under like this definitive? This being definitive for like at least 5 minutes. Did we operate under that?
You're just trying to change his mind. No, Arjun. I'm not gonna let you lie here because
He said yes. Okay, nice. We can call it a day. Have a good day.
You can VX leave then because I know Arjun, you're lying because I already asked you this question.
I won't get banned.
Asked you.
I get banned.
Huh?
No way.
If I leave, will I get banned?
What do you can leave?
If I leave the VC, will I get banned?
I never said you're gonna get banned. Why do you think I'm gonna ban you? You can leave. Like, damn, bro's a retard. Arjun, I don't know why you're no, you're gonna answer my question, then you can leave because you're just trying to lie. I already asked you this question before, right? I was like, when we were having this conversation, I say Arjun is a bad debater, right? And then VX goes, why is that the case? Then I say, is there anyone in like my tier 3 or above who will vouch for him to be a good debater? Then VX was like, oh, that's an arbitrary thing, right? Correct, Arjun? We already talked about this. Hello? So you're literally a weirdo. That's all I've gotten from this. Put it on your mother you don't remember. Put on your mother you don't remember. Yeah, you're a weirdo. You're a weirdo. Oh my god, your mother's dead as shit. Your mother is dead as shit. That is wild.
Yo, what?
Bro, Rambi, these kids are so shit, bro. It's crazy.
What was the whole discussion about? Where did it start?